Okay. Welcome students. In today's class, we will have students presentation. We will begin with Sanjana's presentation. Sanjana, I have made you as a host now. You can
Yes,
share your
sir.
screen and begin the
Yes,
presentation.
sir. Sir, is it visible?
Yes, your screen is visible.
Yes. Good morning, sir, and good morning, everyone. I have been got the topic as Mozilla Firefox, and I tried to collect a little information because it was too much. I tried to club it in a few points, and let us begin. So, starting with the overview of Firefox browser, as you all know, that Firefox is a very famous browser that we all use. It was also known as Mozilla Firefox or simply Firefox. It is a free and open source web browser developed by the Mozilla Foundation and its subsidiary Mozilla Corporation. Firefox uses the Gecko layout engine to render web pages, which implements current and anticipated web standards. So, what is this Gecko layout engine? It is a browser which is also developed by the Mozilla company. It is just like how Chromium is used for Google Chrome. The Mozilla company started using the Gecko layout engine. This supports open internet pages and standards. It also provides all the necessary web searches effectively. Since we all have used Mozilla Firefox, I think all these points are pretty much that is what it is telling us. So coming back to the history of Mozilla Firefox, Firefox was created in the year 2002 under the name as Phoenix by the Mozilla community. They wanted it to be a standalone browser. Since that time, Internet Explorer was already there. They wanted Mozilla to be one of among the standalone browsers. So during its beta phase, Firefox proved to be popular with its testers and was praised for its speed, security, and adds-on compared to Microsoft then dominant Internet Explorer 6. So therefore, Firefox was released on November 9, 2004, and it challenged the Internet Explorer's dominance with 60 million downloads within 9 months. So this project was an experimental one, and it was started by Dave, Joe, and Blake. Uh, so this is the changes in the logo over the years. How it was started as Phoenix, then it developed to be a Firebird, which was later named as Firefox, and then the branding and logo changed as they had development in the field. Initially, the Firefox was named as Nascent Browser. Uh, Firefox as a company went with a lot of changes in their name. Initially, it was named as Phoenix, with a mythical bird that rose triumphantly from the ashes, which means that Phoenix as a name, it was given because they believed that it rose from the ashes, because it was a project that they had started as an experiment. They gave the name as Phoenix. Later it was again challenged by some other company which also had the same name, so again they had to change their name from Phoenix. So they went on with the name as Firebird. The replacement name Firebird provoked an intense response from the Firebird database software project. So along with that, there was another project that was named as Firebird. So again, they had to change the name. So Mozilla Firefox came at the very end. Initially, it was nascent browser, then it became Phoenix, then it became Firebird. So they later came up with a new name called Mozilla Firebird. Again, it changed to Mozilla Firefox finally on February 9, 2004. So this is how it was earlier, Phoenix and Firebird, and then it changed to Mozilla Firefox. The performance of Mozilla Firefox includes features like tabbed browsing, spell checking, incremental search, smart bookmark, download manager, then private browsing, bookmark tags, screenshot tool, and location aware browsing. Functions can be added through add-on created by third-party developers. Add-ons are primarily coded using HTML, CSS, JavaScript with API known as Web Extensions, which is designed to be compatible with Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge extension systems. This means that uh, along with all these features, adds on, that is ads that can be created by the third party developers, can be displayed on the Mozilla Firefox browser. It also has guest session feature, as in guest sessions can be hosted on the Mozilla Firefox browser. It also supports the change in theme. So there are various themes, night mode and morning. The color of that logo changes to blue in the night, so we can also use that feature, which means it supports change in theme. So coming back to security of that, uh, the Mozilla Firefox has passed the ACID 2 and ACID 3 test. So now what is this ACID 2 and ACID 3? Uh, these are the tests that are conducted to check the overall performance of the browser. So there are levels in this ACID 2 and ACID 3. Uh, uh, Mozilla Firefox has successfully completed all the ACID tests 1, 2, and 3. uh, Levels as in 1, 2, and 3 are basically, first one will be only regarding the overview of the browser, then it will be about the security, and ACID 3 test was the latest one which has been passed by Mozilla Firefox, which means at the overall level it passes all the three tests. Then Firefox is allowed for sandbox security model to manage privileges regarding the JavaScript code, but that feature has been deprecated. It limits scripts from accessing data from other websites based on the same origin policy. It means that the security is so intact that accessing data from other websites and seeking it inside the Mozilla Firefox has been condemned. So it makes sure that whatever data is there, it is secured. It also provides support for smart cards to web application for authentication purposes. So if you are using for any authentication purposes, it also supports that. It also supports the cryptography, which means that the communication that we use, that we are going to make it from one page to another page, it will be encrypted. This will be done using the TLS. TLS is transport layer security. We all know that there are layers in the communication path, and it uses the transport layer security. Firefox now supports the HTTP2 type of protection. System requirement includes supports the operating systems like Windows, Linux, iOS, and Android. The minimum requirement is that Windows version should be either 7 or more. RAM is the minimum requirement is 512 MB for 32-bit version and 2 GB for 64-bit version. Data storage should be minimum 200 MB. Now the question is, why Mozilla Firefox? We all know that we actually indently use Chrome over Mozilla Firefox, which is a fact because Chrome has been popular ever since it came into existence. But it is not that Mozilla Firefox is not used. It is also in the same competition as Chrome, but there are people who actually prefer Mozilla Firefox over Chrome. uh, there can be three main out of all the 10 or more reasons. Main are Firefox is faster and leaner than Chrome. Now what is faster and leaner than Chrome? Means that if you open 10 tabs of Mozilla Firefox and all high end uh, work you are doing in it, for example, one you're surfing, one you're playing something, or it can be anything, Mozilla Firefox will not crash, but there are chances that the Chrome can crash. So in that study that they have done and the research that have gone through, people have come across that Firefox is more faster and leaner than Chrome. Now the second point says Firefox knows it's just a browser. Now this is a point that has been written in an article that says Firefox knows it's just a browser, which means that the job of the Firefox is to just provide you a platform so that you can surf. Over the years, Chrome has become a platform for not just for browsing, so it is used for multiple reasons, and hence there is a lot of data flowing in and out. Firefox supports the customer's point of view, and there is not more complication in it. Third point says that Firefox actually cares about privacy. There are a lot of times it is known that Google takes a lot of data from the users. Almost everything about you, uh, it is available on the Google's data servers. And research says that Mozilla Firefox keeps your privacy intact, and there is a less chance that your data gets leaked. But with Google, uh, even though we all inherently use Google and Chrome, but there is a chance that your data might as well get leaked. So these are the 3 points which says that Mozilla Firefox is the reason why we should change from Chrome to Mozilla. This is the latest statistical data as of March, the user data. In that, I think Mozilla Firefox is at 7.95%. Yeah, this is what all I had to say. Thank you.
Wonderful presentation, Sanjana. You have pretty much covered all the details, information, especially with respect to its origin, its development, and the privacy information. A big round of applause to Sanjana.
Sir, I'll give the meeting controls to you.
Yes. Now, Chetan,
Yes, sir.
shall I give you the posting present permissions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
That, yeah, you can present now.
Sir, I've created this on Google Slide because I don't have PowerPoint presentation in my PC space.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
just you are just utilizing the software as a service.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir. So there is a point which I'll cover what I'm doing right now. Why Chrome? I'm using this as an example. So yes.
Yeah.
Uh, so I have been appointed to give a presentation of Chrome browser. So here it goes. Chrome browser was actually developed by Google back in 2008. So this is the logo of Google Chrome. You'll find everywhere. You'll see. So this is the first slide. You'll see this. The Chrome was developed across platform web browser developed by Google. It was developed back in 2008 by for particularly for Microsoft Windows, and it was built using the components called Apple WebKit and Mozilla Firefox. So these two kits were used to create complete Google Chrome, which you are using right now, or maybe you use in your daily life. So it was later released for, as it was released only for Windows, Microsoft Windows. Like the developers thought we should release this to other OSs also. So later they released it for Linux, Mac OS, then iOS, and then Android also. Like you are using it in each and every device, you will find it. So yes, it will be easy to go through it, and it is more developed than before. So also the browser is also the main component of Chrome OS, where it serves as the platform for web browsing applications. So the main thing is there is a OS called Chrome browser, Chrome OS. Okay, so the main thing Google Chrome was developed to go hand in hand with the Chrome OS as well. These are the latest versions for each platform you will find of Google Chrome browser. So for Chrome on Windows, you'll find this version. It was released recently in May 2021 and followed by the similar things. The same were released in Mac OS and Linux as well on the same date. Sorry, this just ignore this thing here. There was extra. Wait a second. It just got reloaded. Sorry. Yeah. So for Android, the release date was a bit different because they had to redevelop some certain improvements, and then they released it in recently in June 2021 on 3rd. So these are the latest versions you'll find for the Chrome browser. And the main thing about Chrome browser is it uses WebKit. So fine, after using WebKit, the process inside Chrome gets faster than ever. Also, it is bit laggy. That is understandable, but the process in which the Chrome browser is done, the Chrome browser follows, is much faster than other browsers. And the same WebKit is used by Safari as well. So this is the most fastest thing we can get in a browser, that is called WebKit, and this helps in rendering in processing the rendering engine faster as ever. So you already know that HTML was first major feature, not feature, major task to develop by the websites, not websites, particularly the browsers. The browsers were used to just load HTML pages of websites. So right now, what the thing is, uh, okay. So majorly the main development happened between the web browser is you can also run applications inside it. So what I am doing right now is I am using Google Slides as an application. I am running it over Google Chrome. So this is an example which you can do. You can play games as well on any of the browsers which uses WebKit as a processor. So this is the main reason why I'm using Google Slides on Google Chrome. Okay, so this is what major development happen from going from HTML to using applications on website live. Okay, you can just render, you can go, you can use faster, you can do whatever you want to in just one browser itself. You don't need any other separate application to be installed. So here is some small point you'll see. There are many browsers which could not handle online application running till date, but Chrome passes the test with flying colors. So yeah, this is the main thing what I was explaining to you right now. So coming back to market shares, the main reason why we are making this presentation for. So Chrome overtook Firefox in November 2011. So Firefox was the one thing which was leading in 2011, but Chrome just came with a good and fine update, and it overtook Firefox with it just got above Firefox and other browsers in 2011 November. Also, according to the recent updates in March 2021, the Chrome had 67%. What do you say? Like the updates made Chrome grow 67% much higher than other browsers. So don't really rant about other browsers here because I am here to give my Chrome presentation. So yes, this was the only comparison I'll do, and only one comparison is going to come ahead. So also this is the market share chart where you can see the other browsers lying down with all those lines, different color lines, and the Chrome browser is the only one browser which is being used highly and effectively, which goes 69% higher than the other browsers, whichever you will find on the web. So yes, as you can see, the previous image was not clear at all. You couldn't find that much attractive. So I have made a particular slide for just for that sake. The previous image was not clear, Chetan. It is just saying it to me. Click to check the live market share for better clarity. So what I'll do is I'll just click this market share, and it will take me to this website, which is called Start Counter, and you will see all the performance, all the usage, market share of different browsers, which are indicated in different colors. You can also edit here which from in which country you want to use, you want to see the usage percentage, and by which week, which day, or which year you want to see. So these are the stats you can just go and see personally if you want. So this was the basic highlight of this particular website. What it is called, Stats Counter. You can go in statscounter.com. You will find this particular thing. As you can see, in May 2020, the Chrome had 63% of market share usage. Like the world, 63% of the world was using the Chrome. And coming to 2021, it's like 64.75. It's just keeping it high as possible. None other the browsers are touching even close to it. Okay. So yes, coming back to the slide. Okay, the last comparison I'll do here is Chrome OS, which Chrome browser is used in. So recently, what happened was in 2020, before 2020, Mac OS was leading and Chrome OS was going downside. But with certain updates and with constant use of Chrome OS by the public, the Chrome OS just went higher in the usage, and the Mac OS just dropped down. And this is the only comparison happens between a Chrome OS and a Mac OS. It is just very regular that people compare these two things in between. And maybe I don't think that Mac OS is really going to overtake Chrome in any of the days coming in future. So yes, this was my time. Thank you.
Very good, Chetan. It was very interactive. The way you had collected the data and you presented, it was really wonderful.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Good round of applause for Chetan. Okay, Chetan, you can just directly give hosting access to the next person.
So whom should I give it to?
Give it to me, Shiva. Sir, how much time I have left in the meeting?
You have around, let me check it. It's running on my machine. So 10-15 minutes.
Sir, I need something around 15 plus minutes.
15 plus minutes. No worries. You can go ahead. If something is pending, I will reinitiate the meeting once again.
Okay, sir. Hello everyone. Today I'm going to present you information regarding the Opera web browser and the evolution of it. So these are the contents that I'm going to explain in this presentation. That is history, version and features, performance and security of Opera web browser. So let's start. As we know, Opera is a web browser which was developed by Opera Software Company. It is Chromium based. Chromium based means Google have developed the code for building software which is free and open source that can be used by anyone to create softwares or browsers. That means Google has already created the code which can be used by anyone in the world. It is free to use. Anyone can create their own softwares or browsers. In the next point, Opera browser can be used on multiple platforms like Microsoft Windows, Android, iOS. There are mobile versions as well, called as Opera Mobile and Opera Mini. The minimum system requirement for Opera is for Windows 7. Processor is Pentium 4. I have not included that because all of us have all the basic features required to install Opera web browser. So now let's see who were the people who started or founded Opera web browser. Yeah, these are the two guys who started the research on Opera. The left one in the black suit is John Stephenson von Teschner, and the other one is Geir Iversoy. They were the two engineers who were employees in the Telenor telecommunication company. A telecommunication company is the one which provides telephone services like BSNL in India. So let me show you the telecom company where these two guys were working. Yeah, this is the aerial overview of Telenor company. This is their headquarters that is located in Norway. This is the place where John and his colleague Geir started their research in the year 1994. At the start, they were the only two people who were researching on the browser. After a few months, they decided to recruit more people in their developing side. Let's now see history of Opera, like when and how it started. As I said, John and Geir started research in the year 1994. And in 1995, these two wise men, I personally feel this was the best business strategy, or they saw the future success of Opera. What they did was that both of them separated themselves from the Telenor company and started their own company called as Opera Software ASA. And the very next year, that is in the year 1996, they launched the first product with version 2.0. This is the version that I'm displaying on the screen. Sorry for the blurry picture. I couldn't get the HD image of this because in the Google, it's very old software. The resolution is very low. This is the first version that publicly was released. It is also called as Multi-Torque Opera. All right. So this was the history till here, who founded it, when it was created, and when the first version was released. To sum up, I can say that in the year 1994, John and Geir started the research. In 1995 year, they separated themselves and started their own company. And the very next year, that is in the 1996, they released the first version to the public. Let's now move to the version and features section. Okay. So as I said, version 2 was the public release of Opera, which was released as shareware. Shareware means Opera released the first version on the trial basis, trial version, I can say. If you want to use the complete version of Opera, you have to pay for it. From there, they earn their income. In the next version, that is version 3, the first version of Opera with JavaScript support. Actually, I've not included all the versions because it literally goes from version 2 to version 15. So I've included only the major and important versions where the development was made. Yeah, so let me continue. In the version 5, ad sponsored came into picture. What was happening is that in the earlier version, that is version 2, the developers were earning revenue by providing full features. But in the version 5, they stopped that and they started to show ads to the user, and from that they generated the revenue. In the version 7, introduced the Presto layout engine with improved CSS and client-side scripting. In short, if I want to explain this, they include the performance, quality, and the user interface. This sentence means the same. So moving to the next part of is the Opera 2013. Actually, after version 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, these were all the versions, but I don't think so that in all the information is needed now. But in the year 2013, Opera changed the Presto layout engine to WebKit. WebKit is an engine developed by Apple company. It also increases a lot of performance in the browser. The two pictures that I'm displaying is version 3 and version 7. The left hand side with the red title bar is version 3, and with the blue title bar it's version 7. Actually, I've not added much detailed information over here because the slides will get increased and the students will get decreased in the meeting. So I kept it short and simple. I just wanted to describe it in very short summary type. So let's move to the features part. This is the feature list. Again, I have not added details over here because I wanted to show practically all the features of the Opera web browser, because very few of us, I guess, use Opera web browser as a default browser. So let me just, sir, can I show the Opera web browser here?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, thank you. I have been using this Opera since Saturday when Sir allotted me the presentation. And I have my own perspective upon this. So let me share this. So yeah, this is the home page of the Opera web browser. This is the speed dial section. Let me show you how the features works and all. On the left hand side, where I'm hovering my mouse, this is the sidebar, which has some quick toggles. That is Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, this media player, Flow. I'll explain this all the features and a quick access to history and settings over here. So moving to the right hand side, below the close button, you can see the easy setup feature. If you click that, you will get some more options over here. That is the light mode and the dark mode. Dark mode completely changes the appearance of the Opera browser. And you can also modify your wallpapers also by moving down. These are the options. Coming down to the more features, that is privacy and security. This block ads features over here. Actually, I've not faced any ads while using Opera browser because I didn't come across any such thing because I was surfing very light. I was only surfing very light information on Opera browser. But to have enabled this, let's see if I get some come across with ads section. I'll surely let you know. So here coming to the VPN. This is the important feature in Opera web browser, and it's absolutely free. So let me show you, enable it and show you. Yeah, so this is the VPN section. I'll just enable it. As you can see here in the URL session, on the left hand side, a VPN symbol has appeared. This symbol resembles that now you're anonymous and you can just cannot be traced. So let me just disable it. There are more features over here down. This is the battery enable battery saver. I've enabled it. I'll just show you how it works. I'll just disable my charging of the laptop, and you can see here the symbol of the battery saver. On the top right corner, you can see the battery logo has appeared. That means it is in the battery saver mode. And yeah, it does saves a lot of battery while using the web browser. And I can say that yes, it is a very useful feature as well. Let me let the charger back. The battery saver option goes. Yeah, all right. So just let me close this. There is one more option called as snapshot option. It's similar to the screenshot option in mobile. Here you can see the camera symbol over here. Yeah, on the top right corner. If I click this, a tutorial comes of cropping and snapping. I have to just drag this, and I can quickly take the snapshot of this and save it to my PC. This is very useful feature. I need to tell that the interface is very good in the Opera browser. There is one more feature called as Flow, My Flow. This feature. So let me just practically show you what this feature does. So let me tell you what it does. But for this feature, you have to install Opera Mobile also. Means in your Android device, you have to install Opera browser. And in the desktop also, you must have the Opera desktop version. What you have to do is that I'll just open my browser in my mobile. And the similar option is shown in my settings. That is this option, this logo, My Flow. I will tap that flow option in my mobile. Now what I have to do is that I have to just press this button, connect your phone, and a QR code appears over here. What I have to do is that I have to just scan this QR code from the Opera browser. I'll just show it. I have opened the scanner in my mobile. I'll just scan this code, and the code is scanned. Now you can see a loading symbol over here. Yeah. The code is scanned and a confirmation code is displayed in my mobile. that is shown on the screen. I have to just yes the match. I have to just select this option. And now I've logged in. Now basically what I can do now is that I can share all the bookmarks that I have been saved in the mobile. I can just share all the bookmarks on the desktop. I can share all the important files on my desktop. I can literally share every thing that I've saved in my mobile to desktop directly. This option I have never seen on the other browsers like Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Mozilla Firefox. This is a very I can say very useful feature. Let me just show you some more features over here. Showed you was the MyFlow feature. So let me show you the last feature that I felt very useful, and it is in the other browsers as well. That is the floating window feature. Just let me open the YouTube. Yes. So this option, I guess, this quick toggle, I have not seen anywhere in the other browsers as well. What you have to do is that just hover your screen and just select this option. The symbol here, I'm hovering over it. You have to just tap it, and now you can just float the window anywhere you want. This option is very best to use when multitasking. So this was the feature I wanted to show you. Actually, there are many more features that I have also not used because there are so many features the Opera browser is providing us. So let me get back to the PPT. I hope you understood. I hope you really like the features of the Opera browser. Yeah. So the next slide I wanted to show about the performance and security. Again, I have not added much more details over here because I have already showed you the security part in the practically the performance of the Opera web browser and the security. Performance actually depends on the individual user, how they use, how fast they want. And after I have used all the browser means Chrome, Mozilla, Microsoft Edge, and Opera, I feel that all of them are same in terms of performance, speed. I do not feel any lag performance in all the browsers. But I can say that the interface in the Opera is far better than other browsers. No one can beat the interface section of Opera. Opera is providing many good features like battery saver, VPN for free of cost, and that floating window option is, I guess that option is in the other browser as well, but the quick toggle option is very useful in that. And the security, as I've shown you, that you can block ads, you can use the VPN, and there are much more security this. But the main disadvantage of security over here, I felt, was that in the year 2016, what had happened was that Opera was sold to Chinese investors. So now basically Opera is now Chinese owned company. So now, yeah, I know you guys can understand that why I just little bit said disadvantage about the security reasons. We all know that Chinese can do anything with our personal data, but Google says that it is safe, and 360 million users have been using, and nothing has happened yet. But for the safer side, I just suggest people that do not use some personal information on Opera browser. Just for light usage and streaming, yeah, you definitely can go for Opera web browser. This is it, and the market share price have already been shared by Sanjana and Chetan. Something Opera has something 2.7 compared to Google Chrome, that is 64. It's very low, but yes, please do try using Opera web browser because it has some cool features like that flow feature that I have been using. It just shares all the data from your mobile to desktop. That is a very cool feature. You have to try, and Opera browser is mainly used on the, some low specs laptops or PCs. It gives a boost to the performance. The turbo feature is there in Opera, and it optimizes your browser experience. It optimizes very fast. So I recommend using Opera web browser for the people who have low specs on their laptops. So thank you. This was it. I hope you liked the presentation.
It was wonderful, Shivam. Very good presentation again.
Thank you, sir.
Round of applause for Shivam as well. Very well.